Have you ever wondered how much time you really have left after turning 70? Each passing year becomes more precious, and your body is sending signals about your future lifespan. In the U.S., there are people like Margaret in Seattle, 73 years old, still sharp and full of energy, walking around the park every day. But there are also people like Henry in Tulsa, the same age, slow, facing fatigue and illness. What makes the difference? Today we'll reveal 7 signs, powerful yet subtle indicators, that show how long you might live past 70. This isn't superstition or guesswork. It's based on science from research and doctors about people who live long, healthy lives. Before diving into the story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the latest stories. Why is 70 such an important milestone? It's not by chance that we've chosen this age to talk about longevity. In the U.S., life 70 isn't just a number. It's a threshold where your body and life begin to change noticeably. Let's explore the scientific and practical reasons behind this, because understanding it will help you prepare better for the years ahead. First, let's look at the biological aspect. When you hit 70, your body no longer functions like it did at 30 or 50. According to the National Institute on Aging (NEA), this is when muscles start to decline faster, a phenomenon called sarcopenia. You might notice you can't lift heavy grocery bags like before, or find it harder to climb stairs. Hormones also decrease, especially testosterone in men and estrogen in women, affecting strength, energy, and even recovery ability. Your immune system weakens too, making you more prone to illnesses, from common colds to more serious issues like heart disease or diabetes. The top 2 causes of death for those over 70 in the U.S., according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. But it's not just your body that changes. American society also places 70 in a unique context. Most people retire around 66, 67, according to the Social Security Administration. By the time you pass 70, you've often left full-time work behind, entering a new phase, living off pensions, savings or support from Medicare, the government health care program for those over 65. This brings freedom but also pressure. A study from Johns Hopkins University shows that finances and isolation after retirement can significantly impact mental and physical health. If you don't maintain an active lifestyle like Margaret in Seattle, who still walks and joins community clubs, you risk ending up like Henry in Tulsa, sitting still and slowly losing vitality. So what happens at 70 that doesn't at 60? Scientists call this a biological inflection point. A Johns Hopkins study found that from 60 to 70, the rate of bodily function decline doubles. For example, balance, which we'll cover in the first sign, starts to drop sharply after 70 if not maintained. The cardiovascular system faces greater strain, with risks of high blood pressure and stroke rising. Meanwhile, the brain changes too. Information processing slows, and without stimulation from social or physical activity, the risk of cognitive decline increases. Picture this with a real example. Margaret, whom we mentioned earlier, keeps her habit of walking around Green Lake in Seattle. At 73, she's not only physically healthy, but also mentally sharp, thanks to her active lifestyle. But Henry in Tulsa is different. After retiring from truck driving at 67, he rarely moves, mostly watching TV and eating processed food from the local supermarket. By 73, he's dealing with blood pressure issues and constant fatigue. The difference isn't random. It stems from natural changes after 70 that Margaret harnesses, while Henry does not. In the U.S., your living environment also makes 70 significant. If you're in a big city like Seattle or New York, you can easily access parks, gyms, or community groups, factors that help maintain health. But in rural areas like Tulsa or small Midwest towns, the lack of opportunities for exercise and social connection can speed up health decline. Plus, the typical American diet, heavy on processed foods and light on vegetables, heightens the risk if you're not mindful. What's the good news? Though 70 is a key threshold, it's not the end. Studies show you can still shift your health trajectory. Margaret is proof she doesn't let age define her, actively keeping her body and mind strong. Henry, on the other hand, still has a chance if he starts now, and so do you. The signs we're about to share not only help you recognize your current state, but are also keys to extending your lifespan. So why does 70 matter? Because it's when your body and life challenge you, but it's also a chance to shape your future. In the US, with support from science, technology like Fitbit or Apple Watch, and resources like Medicare, you have everything you need to cross this threshold strong. Welcome to the first sign in our journey to explore longevity past 70. If you just heard about Margaret in Seattle and Henry in Tulsa, plus why 70 is a key milestone, now it's time to dive into the details. The first sign, the ability to stand on one leg, sounds simple, but it's one of the strongest predictors of how long you'll live. In the US, where lifestyles and environments vary widely, this ability reflects not just physical health, but also mirrors your brain and spirit. Let's explore it through stories, science, and how you can improve it today. Let's start with two women from different parts of the US. Ellen, 74, lives in Boulder, Colorado, a town famous for stunning hiking trails at the foot of the Rockies. Ellen loves nature. Every morning she walks her dog on the Chautauqua Trail, easily standing on one leg to tie her shoes without wobbling. At this age, she still joins community yoga classes, keeping her body flexible and her spirit refreshed. Now shift to Mobile, Alabama, where Patricia, also 74, lives a very different life. Patricia used to work an office job, but after retiring, she rarely moves, mostly staying indoors watching TV or sitting on her porch overlooking the bay. Recently, when she tried standing on one leg to reach a high shelf, she instantly lost balance, grabbing the table to avoid falling. Patricia thinks it's just old age, but really, it's a bigger warning sign. So why does standing on one leg matter? Scientists at Stanford University studied thousands of older adults and found that those unable to stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds after 70 face double the risk of falls, injuries, and even cognitive decline compared to those who can. It's not just about muscles. Standing steady on one leg requires perfect coordination of three things: leg strength, a sharp nervous system, and a healthy brain to process balance signals. When Ellen in Boulder stands on one leg without trouble, it's proof she's maintaining all three. But for Patricia in Mobile, losing balance isn't just inconvenient. It shows weakening muscles, a sluggish nervous system, and possibly a brain losing function. In the US, falls are a serious issue for those over 70. According to the CDC, over 3 million older adults are hospitalized yearly for falls, making it the leading cause of injury-related death in this age group. If you start feeling unsteady, turning quickly, or need to hold the wall in a hallway, that's a red flag. Patricia didn't realize her near fall in the kitchen wasn't minor. It could lead to a hip fracture, a complication 25% of people over 70 don't survive within a year, per the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. Ellen in Boulder, though, rarely worries about this, having built a solid foundation through regular activity. The U.S. living environment also shapes this sign. In Boulder, Colorado, where outdoor culture thrives, people have chances to hike, bike, or join free exercise classes in parks. Ellen uses this to stay balanced. She even practices standing on one leg on a yoga mat weekly. But in Mobile, Alabama, where humid summers and few public spaces discourage movement, Patricia lacks motivation to get out. This doesn't mean she can't change. It just means environments pose different challenges you must overcome, whether in a big city or small town. Now let's dig a bit deeper into the science. A 2021 study from the British Medical Journal found that the ability to stand on one leg not only predicts lifespan, but also ties to cardiovascular and bone health. Those with poor balance often have lower bone density, break bones easier, and have less efficient circulation, all shortening life. Each time Ellen stands on one leg for a few seconds, her body signals, "I'm still strong," but for Patricia, wobbling warns, "Do something before it's too late." The good news? You can absolutely improve this. No matter where you are in the US, no gym or fancy gear needed. Start right at home. Try this simple test. Stand up, lift one leg off the floor, and see how long you hold. If under 10 seconds, don't worry. It's your starting point. Ellen in Boulder wasn't naturally great. She practiced over time. You can too, with a few easy exercises. First, try standing on one leg daily for 10-15 seconds, holding a chair if needed. Gradually increase time as you gain confidence. Second, walk heel to toe, like on an imaginary line, for about 5 minutes daily to boost coordination. Third, if you want to level up, try gentle yoga. In the US, free or cheap yoga classes are common, from parks in Seattle to community centers in Alabama. Apps like Fitbit or YouTube offer free guides too. Just search yoga for seniors. Finally, if you're near a park like Ellen, walk on uneven ground to challenge natural balance. Imagine Patricia in Mobile starting to stand on one leg daily in her kitchen, just 10 seconds at first. After a few weeks, she could hold longer without grabbing, feeling surer on her feet. That's a small but powerful way to reclaim health. For Ellen, it's a habit. At 74, she climbs hills without fear of falling. You don't need to live in Boulder to do this. Even in Mobile or anywhere across the US, you can start. So where are you with this sign? Stand up right now. Yes, while watching this video, and try standing on one leg. How long do you last? If under 10 seconds, don't panic, but don't ignore it. The ability to stand on one leg isn't just a trick, it's a foundation for long-term health. Like Margaret in Seattle, or Ellen in Boulder, those who balance well prove 70 isn't an end, but a new start if you act. Practice today, because every second you stand steady is a step toward a longer, healthier life. Before moving to the next sign, leave a comment. How long did I hold? And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll explore the second sign, grip strength, right after this. Are you ready? If you just tried standing on one leg like Ellen in Boulder, or Patricia in Mobile, and understood why 70 is a key milestone, then now we'll move on to another indicator, grip strength. Don't underestimate a handshake, or the ability to open a jam jar. It can reveal more about your future than you might think. In the US, where people often take pride in their independence, grip strength isn't just a matter of convenience. It's a key to living long and healthy. Let's explore this through stories, science, and how you can improve it starting today. Let's meet two men from different parts of the US. James, 76, lives in Boise, Idaho, a western city known for its fresh air and a community that loves hands-on work. James used to be a carpenter, and though retired, he still keeps up his habit of woodworking in his small garage. Every day he easily twists off water bottle caps, carries fertilizer bags to the garden, and shakes friends' hands with a firm grip. On the East Coast, Leonard, also 76, lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, a growing city with a modern pace. Leonard was a bank employee, rarely using physical labor, and after retiring, he gradually found simple tasks tough. Recently, trying to open a pickle jar in the kitchen, he struggled with both hands, and still failed. Leonard thinks it's just age, but in reality, his grip strength is telling a bigger story about his health. So why does grip strength matter? Scientists at the National Institute on Aging (NIA) have found it's one of the clearest indicators of overall health in older adults. A strong grip shows you have healthy muscles, good circulation, and an efficient nervous system. Conversely, weak hands are an early sign of muscle loss, sarcopenia, something we mentioned at the 70 threshold, along with frailty and higher disease risk. A University of Michigan study shows people over 70 with weak grip strength face a 50% higher risk of early death compared to those who maintain it. For James in Boise, a strong handshake isn't just pride, it's a sign he's still independent and healthy. But for Leonard in Raleigh, his weakening hands are a warning he needs to pay attention to. In the US, grip strength also ties to self-care ability, something older adults deeply value. According to the CDC, over 40% of people over 70 struggle with daily tasks, like carrying heavy items or opening jars, often starting with weak hands. Imagine Leonard in Raleigh, when grocery bags slip from his hands on the way home from the store. He laughs it off as no big deal. But the truth is, it could lead to losing independence. If you can't grip well, balancing while carrying things gets harder, directly linking to the first sign we discussed. In contrast, James in Boise still does everything himself, from fixing chairs to gardening, thanks to his strong hands. The U.S. living environment also affects this sign. In Boise, Idaho, where manual labor and outdoor activities like fishing or gardening are common, James naturally keeps his hands strong. He even swings a hammer a few times a week, unintentionally training his grip without a gym. But in Raleigh, North Carolina, where urban life relies more on machines and less on hands, Leonard lacks that habit. This doesn't mean Leonard can't change. It just means his environment requires him to be more proactive to avoid a downward spiral of weakness. Let's dive deeper into the science. A 2018 study from the Journal of Gerontology found weak grip strength directly ties to higher fall risk, heart disease, and even stroke. Why? Because hands mirror whole body muscle health. If your hands are weak, your legs likely are too, your heart isn't pumping efficiently, and you're prone to frailty. For James, each time he holds a hammer or lifts a bucket, his body stays in top shape. But for Leonard, failing to open a pickle jar isn't just inconvenient. It's a sign his overall muscles are fading, bringing him closer to health risks. The good news is grip strength can be rebuilt, whether you're in Boise or Raleigh. You don't need expensive gear, just simple home exercises. Try this test now. Grab a full water bottle and see how long you can hold it tight without shaking. If your hand feels weak or tires fast, it's a sign to act. James in Boise didn't naturally have strong hands. He maintained them through daily work. You can do the same with easy exercises. First, try squeezing a tennis ball or small rubber ball. Something you can buy for a few bucks at Walmart or Target. Squeeze 10 times per hand, 3 times a day. Simple, but effective. Second, grip a light weight like a 1-liter water bottle. Hold for 15 seconds, then gradually increase time. Third, if you want to step up, try a hand gripper, common at sports stores like Dick's Sporting Goods across the U.S. Finally, add a practical habit when grocery shopping. Carry a bag with one hand instead of a cart, as long as it's not too heavy. These small steps will strengthen your hands daily. Imagine Leonard in Raleigh starting to squeeze a tennis ball each night while watching TV. After a few weeks, he opens a pickle jar more easily, feeling more confident carrying things. That's how grip strength changes life. Not just health, but independence. For James in Boise, it's part of his routine. At 76, he still does everything without help. Whether you're in a big city or small town, you can start today. So how's your grip strength? Squeeze your hand tight right now. How does it feel? If it's weaker than before, don't ignore it. Shebel like Ellen in Boulder keeping balance, or James in Boise keeping strength. This is a sign you can improve to live longer. It's not just about holding things. It's how you hold on to the life ahead. Before moving to the next sign, comment, is my hand strong or weak? If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out. The third sign, walking speed, is up next. Are you ready? If you just checked your grip strength with James in Boise and Leonard in Raleigh, or tried standing on one leg like Ellen and Patricia, now we'll shift to a simple but crucial sign, walking speed. In the U.S., where people are always on the move, whether crossing busy streets or strolling park paths, how fast you walk can say a lot about your health and lifespan. This isn't hidden in DNA or medical charts. It's something you can observe today. Let's dive in through stories, science, and how to improve it for a longer life. Let's meet two men from different U.S. cities. Daniel, 75, lives in Boston, Massachusetts, a vibrant city with cobblestone streets and vast parks, like Boston Common. Daniel loves walking. Each morning he strides quickly through the park, passing younger joggers without stopping to rest. He crosses busy streets before the traffic light changes, and climbs his home stairs with ease. Now head to Lubbock, Texas, where George, also 75, lives a slower life. George used to work in a warehouse, but after retiring, he rarely goes out, mostly moving around the house or sitting in an armchair, overlooking dry fields. Recently, walking to a nearby store, he had to stop a few times to catch his breath, and felt unsteady stepping over curbs. George thinks it's normal for his age, but his slow walking speed tells a different story. So why does walking speed matter? Scientists at Harvard University studied thousands of people over 70, and found that those who maintain a fast, steady pace tend to live longer than those who slow down noticeably. Specifically, if you walk at about 3 miles per hour, around 4.8 kilometers per h, just enough to cross a street before the light changes, you're 30% more likely to stay healthy compared to someone under 2 miles per hour. Walking speed reflects overall health. Strong leg muscles, a good cardiovascular system, efficient lungs, and a sharp brain coordinating each step. For Daniel in Boston, every brisk step signals his body's working at its best. But for George in Lubbock, slowness warns of declining health. In the U.S., walking speed also ties to independence, something we touched on with grip strength. According to the CDC, over a third of people over 70 struggle with mobility, often leading to lost self-care ability. Picture Daniel in Boston, confidently crossing streets to grab his favorite coffee, while George in Lubbock relies on his son to drive him to the store because he can't walk far. The difference isn't just convenience, it's survival. A University of Pittsburgh study shows slow walking speed links to higher fall risk like sign 1, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. If you can't keep up with life's pace, whether crossing a Boston street or strolling in Lubbock, it's time to take notice. The U.S. environment greatly impacts this sign. In Boston, Massachusetts, where people walk everywhere, from subways to parks, Daniel has an ideal setting to maintain speed. He walks 20 minutes daily, using wide sidewalks and fresh air. But in Lubbock, Texas, a rural city with sprawling streets and few walkways, George lacks opportunities. Texas's hot summers also keep him indoors, creating a vicious cycle, less walking, slower pace. This doesn't mean George can't change. He just needs more initiative to overcome environmental challenges. Let's dig into the science a bit. 2019 study from the Journal of the American Medical Association JAMA shows walking speed not only predicts lifespan, but measures cardiovascular health. Slow walkers often have low lung capacity, poor circulation, and weak muscles, all shortening life. For Daniel, each quick step through Boston Common keeps his heart steady and lungs strong. But for George, struggling from house to car signals his body's losing vitality. The study also notes a speed below 1.5 miles per hour as a danger zone. If you're there, disease risk spikes. The good news? You can boost your walking speed, whether in Boston or Lubbock. No marathon needed, just small steps at home or nearby. Try this test. Time how long it takes to walk 10 meters, about 33 feet. If it's over 10 seconds, you're slower than healthy. Daniel in Boston didn't naturally walk fast. He built it over time. You can too, with simple exercises. First, start walking 10-15 minutes daily, indoors if needed. Gradually pick up the pace as you feel at ease. Second, add leg exercises like knee lifts in place, 10 times per leg, 3 times daily, to build strength. Third, if you want more, try brisk walking in a park or on a home treadmill. In the U.S., street parks like Boston Common or even store aisles are great practice spots. Apps like Fitbit or Apple Health help track speed and progress. Finally, set a realistic goal. Walk 5 seconds faster each week. Small but effective. Imagine George in Lubbock starting to walk around his house each morning, just 10 minutes at first. After a few weeks, he reaches the store without stopping, feeling stronger and surer. That's the power of walking speed. It's not just movement, it's reclaiming life. For Daniel in Boston, it's a habit. At 75, he still steps like a younger man. Whether in a big city or rural area, you can start today. So how's your walking speed? Stand up and take a few steps now. Do you feel fast or slow? If you're slower than before, don't ignore it. Like James in Boise, keeping hands strong, or Daniel in Boston keeping pace. This is a sign you can improve to live longer. It's not just about getting around. It's how you move forward in life. Before moving to the next sign, comment, do I walk fast or slow? If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out. The fourth sign, sleep quality, is up next. Are you ready? If you just tested your walking speed with Daniel in Boston and George in Lubbock, or tried grip strength and balance from earlier parts, now we'll pause a bit before the fourth sign. Why? Because in the U.S., key technology is playing a big role in helping people like Margaret, Ellen, James, and Daniel live longer, healthier lives. From smartwatches to health apps, technology isn't just a gadget, it's a tool to track and improve the 7 signs we're discussing. Let's explore how it works, its benefits, and its limits, so you can make the most of it in your life after 70. Remember Margaret in Seattle from the start, still full of energy at 73. Her secret isn't just walking around Green Lake, It's the Fitbit on her wrist. Every day, Margaret tracks steps, heart rate, and even sleep quality with it. When she tests standing on one leg, the first sign, Fitbit times her and logs progress. Technology turns her simple habits into clear data, showing she's on the right path. In Boise, James, the carpenter with strong hands, also uses a phone app to count how many times he squeezes a tennis ball daily, ensuring he doesn't skip grip exercises. Technology quietly supports them, despite their very different locations. In the U.S., technology has become essential for older adults' lives. According to the American Association of Retired Persons, AARP, over 50% of people over 65 own smartphones, and nearly 20% use wearables like Fitbit, Apple Watch, or Garmin. These devices don't just count steps. They measure everything from heart rate tied to Daniel's walking speed to blood oxygen levels. For example, in Silicon Valley, California, the Tech Hub, a 72-year-old man named Charles uses an Apple Watch to improve sleep. When it alerts him to shallow sleep, he adjusts his routine, adding morning sunlight, and after a few weeks, he feels more alert. Technology helped him spot what eyes alone couldn't see. Let's see how technology aids each sign. For standing on one leg, apps like Balance Test on iPhone measure how long you balance, offering custom exercises if you wobble like Patricia in Mobile. For grip strength, smart hand grippers sold on Amazon connect to your phone, showing if your force rises or falls, something Leonard in Raleigh could use to regain strength. And walking speed, Fitbit and Apple Health don't just track steps. They calculate average speed, helping Daniel in Boston stay fast, while George in Lubbock could aim to go from 10 to 15 minutes daily. Technology turns vague feelings into actionable numbers. A bigger leap is telemedicine, remote healthcare, changing how people over 70 access health in the U.S. According to the National Institutes of Health (NIH), over 30% of older adults have used it since the COVID-19 pandemic. Imagine Patricia in Mobile. Instead of driving hours to a doctor for balance issues, she video calls a physical therapist via Zoom. The doctor guides her to practice standing on one leg at home, and in weeks, she improves noticeably. In rural areas like Lubbock, where George lives, telemedicine lets him see a cardiologist to figure out why walking tires him, adjusting his routine. Technology is erasing geographic barriers, bringing healthcare right to you. But not everyone taps into technology like Margaret or Charles. In the U.S., there's still a big gap among older adults. Per Pew Research, people in big cities like Seattle or Boston access devices more easily than those in rural areas like Tulsa or Mobile. George in Lubbock, for instance, doesn't use a smartphone. He only has an old landline. This means he misses out on tracking health like Daniel. Plus, cost is an issue. An Apple Watch can run $200-$400, not cheap for pensioners. And if you're not tech-savvy, learning Fitbit or apps can feel daunting. Technology's a powerful tool, but not everyone's ready to pick it up. The benefits are clear. It makes you proactive. For Ellen in Boulder, free YouTube yoga apps upgraded her balance drills, while James in Boise uses video guides to add grip exercises. In Silicon Valley, Charles not only boosts sleep, but cuts heart disease risk with Apple Watch alerts. But there are limits worth noting. Over-relying on it might make you ignore your body's natural signals, like George thinking he doesn't need to walk without a step counter. Technology's an assistant, not your decision maker. So how can you use technology today? If you have a smartphone, download free apps like Google Fit or MyFitnessPal to start tracking steps and exercises. If you want to invest, a Fitbit Versa around $150 is great for measuring balance, grip, and walking. In the U.S., stores like Best Buy or Walmart carry them. No device? No problem. YouTube's packed with free guides, from yoga for Ellen to hand drills for Leonard. Technology won't transform your lifespan overnight, but it guides you right daily. Think of Margaret in Seattle, using Fitbit to thrive at 73. Or George in Lubbock, who could start with a simple app to walk more. Technology's there, waiting for you, whether in a big city or small town. It ties into every sign we've covered: balance, grip, walking speed, and upcoming ones like sleep or eating. You don't need to be a Silicon Valley expert to begin. Just take one small step. Before the fourth sign, comment, "Do I use technology?" If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. The next sign, sleep quality, will be revealed soon. Are you ready? Next up is the fourth sign in our journey, exploring longevity past 70. If you just heard how technology helps Daniel in Boston walk faster or aids Ellen in Boulder with balance, now we'll shift to a factor often overlooked but vital: sleep quality. In the U.S., where busy lifestyles sometimes make people forget the value of a good night's rest, sleep isn't just downtime, it's the foundation for health and longevity. Let's dive into this through two people's stories, the science behind it, and how you can improve it today to live longer. Let's meet two men from different U.S. cities. Michael, 74, lives in Portland, Oregon, a city known for clean air and a relaxed lifestyle. Michael has a routine. He goes to bed at 10 p.m. sharp, sleeps a full 7 hours, and wakes refreshed. He reads before bed, avoids phones, and opens his window for cool Willamette River breezes. Now head to Memphis, Tennessee, where Edward, also 74, has very different nights. Edward often tosses and turns, wakes up repeatedly, and sometimes takes hours to fall asleep. He watches TV late, eats fried food for dinner, and always feels tired in the morning. Edward thinks it's normal aging, but his poor sleep quality is quietly shortening his lifespan. So why does sleep matter? Scientists at the Mayo Clinic have proven that people over 70 who sleep well and regularly, about 7 to 8 hours nightly, tend to live longer and healthier than those who don't. Sleep isn't just rest. It's when your body repairs cells, boosts immunity, and clears brain toxins. A University of California, San Francisco study shows sleeping under 6 hours nightly at this age raises heart disease risk by 40%, memory decline by 30%, and even affects balance. The first sign we covered. For Michael in Portland, each good night keeps his body and mind sharp. But for Edward in Memphis, restless nights signal his health slipping. In the U.S., poor sleep is common among older adults. Per the CDC, about 35% of those over 65 report trouble sleeping or not getting enough, leading to a host of health issues. Picture Michael in Portland, waking with energy to stroll Laurelhurst Park, while Edward in Memphis drags himself to the couch with dark circles and a foggy head. The difference isn't just feeling, it's biology. When Edward sleeps poorly, his body can't clear amyloid toxins from his brain, linked to Alzheimer's. Michael, though, uses sleep to keep his memory sharp, blood pressure steady, and mood upbeat, all extending his life. The U.S. environment heavily impacts this sign. In Portland, Oregon, with its cool climate and relaxed culture, encouraging healthy habits, Michael easily maintains good sleep. He avoids caffeine after 3 p.m., takes evening strolls, and lives in a quiet space. But in Memphis, Tennessee, known for rich food and lively pace, Edward faces different challenges. Late dinners of fried chicken and TV, until midnight overwork his stomach, disrupting sleep. This doesn't mean Edward can't change. He just needs to adjust to overcome environmental influences. Let's dive into the science a bit. A 2020 study from the journal Sleep shows poor sleep in those over 70 directly ties to chronic inflammation, a cause of heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. When Michael sleeps well, his body cuts inflammation, keeping his heart healthy and immunity strong. But for Edward, wakeful nights raise cortisol, a stress hormone, spiking his blood pressure and draining energy. The study also notes shallow sleep, less REM weakens coordination, tying to balance and walking we've discussed. Sleep isn't just rest, it's your body's natural medicine. The good news? You can improve sleep quality, whether in Portland or Memphis. No pills needed, just small habit changes. Try this test. Last week, how many hours did you sleep nightly? And how did you feel waking up? If under 6 hours or always tired, it's a sign to act. Michael in Portland didn't naturally sleep well. He built the habit over time. You can too, with simple steps. First, set a fixed bedtime, like 10 p.m., to avoid screens, TV, phone at least an hour before. Blue light disrupts melatonin, the sleep hormone. Second, try a light 10-minute evening walk, like Michael, to relax your body. Third, if you want to go further, use morning natural light, open a window, or stand outside 15 minutes to reset your body clock. In the U.S., technology helps too. Fitbit or Apple Watch from earlier can track sleep, showing how long you sleep deeply. Finally, skip heavy meals before bed. A light snack like yogurt beats fried chicken for Edward. Imagine Edward in Memphis turning off the TV earlier, switching to a book, and sleeping at 10 p.m. After a few weeks, he sleeps through, wakes less tired, and even gets less grumpy. That's sleep's power. It's not just rest, it's renewal. For Michael in Portland, it's a habit. At 74, he's still full of energy. Whether in a calm city or lively region, you can start today. So how's your sleep quality? Think about last night. Did you sleep well or toss and turn? If you're tired waking up, don't ignore it. Like Daniel in Boston keeping pace, or Michael in Portland keeping sleep. This is a sign you can improve to live longer. It's not just about sleeping. It's how you recover for the day ahead. Before the next sign, comment, do I sleep well or poorly? If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. The fifth sign, eating habits, awaits us next. Are you ready? If you just heard about Michael's sleep in Portland and Edward's in Memphis, or how technology supports Daniel and Ellen, then now we'll shift to another essential factor, eating habits. In the U.S., where food ranges from burgers to salads, what you eat after 70 doesn't just affect your weight. It's a key to how long you'll live. This isn't about dieting. It's about how you nourish your body to stay healthier each day. Let's explore this through stories, science, and how you can improve it starting today. Let's meet two women from different parts of the U.S. Ruth, 74, lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico, a city famous for its rich food culture and fresh farmers markets. Ruth loves cooking. Each day she prepares breakfast with oatmeal, blueberries, and a glass of orange juice, then has lunch with grilled chicken salad and greens from her garden. She maintains a steady weight, feels full of energy, and looks forward to every meal. Now head to Detroit, Michigan, where Clara, also 74, has very different habits. Clara used to be a factory worker, but after retiring, she lost interest in cooking. She eats donuts from a nearby shop for breakfast, fast food like fries and hamburgers for lunch, and just nibbles snacks at night. Lately, she's lost her appetite, dropped weight for no clear reason, and thinks it's natural aging. But Clara's eating habits are telling a bigger story. So why do eating habits matter? Scientists at the University of Michigan have proven that a balanced, nutrient-rich diet after 70 helps maintain muscle, boost immunity, and keep energy high. It's all extending lifespan. Conversely, eating too little or poorly, like Clara, can signal underlying health issues, from poor digestion to cognitive decline. A study from the American Journal of Nutrition shows people over 70 eating under 1,500 calories daily, without enough protein, face a 60% higher risk of muscle loss, leading to weakness and falls, tying to the balance and walking signs we've discussed. For Ruth in Santa Fe, every tasty meal nourishes her body. But for Clara in Detroit, her indifference to food is a red flag. In the U.S., eating habits among older adults vary widely, but come with challenges. According to the CDC, over 20% of people over 70 don't get enough necessary nutrients, leading to frailty and illness. Chuta Ruth in Santa Fe, happily chopping veggies from the farmer's market, while Clara in Detroit relies on fast food from a nearby convenience store. The difference isn't just health, it's longevity. When Clara skips meals or eats poorly, her body breaks down muscle for energy, raising fall and heart disease risks. Ruth, though, fuels up with protein from chicken, fiber from veggies, and vitamins from fruit, keeping muscles strong, heart healthy, and mind sharp. The U.S. environment heavily impacts this sign. In Santa Fe, New Mexico, where food culture emphasizes fresh, home-cooked meals, Ruth easily accesses quality ingredients from local markets. She enjoys trying dishes like the region's famous green chiles with grilled chicken, both tasty and healthy. But in Detroit, Michigan, an industrial city with many food deserts, areas lacking fresh produce, Claire is caught in a cycle of cheap, convenient fast food. Burgers and fries from the corner store are easier than greens, dulling her appetite over time. This doesn't mean Clara can't change. It just means she needs to push past habits and environment. Let's dig into the science a bit. A 2021 study from the Journal of Gerontology shows loss of appetite in those over 70 often ties to digestive issues, hormonal changes, or even early cognitive decline signs. When Ruth eats well, her body maintains muscle mass, linked to Jane's grip strength, and cuts inflammation, helping her live longer. But for Clara, a poor diet starves her brain of nutrients, raising Alzheimer's risk and leaving her tired, affecting sleep like Edward in Memphis. Food isn't just fuel, it's the foundation for every sign we've covered. The good news, you can improve eating habits, whether in Santa Fe or Detroit. No complex diet needed, just small daily changes. Try this test last week. How many full meals with protein, veggies, and fruit did you eat? If fewer than 3 daily, or you skip meals like Clara, it's a sign to. Ruth in Santa Fe didn't naturally eat well. She built the habit over time. You can too, with simple steps. First, add protein to every meal, like boiled eggs for breakfast, grilled chicken for lunch, or salmon for dinner. Easy to find at U.S. stores like Kroger or Whole Foods. Second, try fresh or frozen veggies. Just boil for 5 minutes for a tasty dish. No fancy cooking required. Third, if you've lost your appetite, add natural spices like garlic, oregano, or chiles. What Ruth does to keep meals exciting. In the U.S., technology helps too. Apps like MyFitnessPal from earlier can track calories and nutrients, ensuring you're not short. Finally, drink enough water, 6 to 8 glasses daily, to aid digestion and energy. Imagine Clara, in Detroit, swapping donuts for oatmeal with banana each morning. After a few weeks, she feels hungry again, gains a little weight, and tires less when moving. That's the power of eating habits. It's not just filling up, it's restoring your body. For Ruth in Santa Fe, she's made it an art. At 74, she's still strong and cheerful. Whether in a farming region or industrial city, you can start today. So how are your eating habits? Think of your last meal. Did it nourish you or just fill your stomach? If you skip meals or eat poorly, don't ignore it. Like Michael in Portland keeping sleep, or Ruth in Santa Fe keeping nutrition, this is a sign you can improve to live longer. It's not just about eating, it's how you build health from within. Congrats on making it through the first 5 signs. If you just heard about Ruth's eating habits in Santa Fe and Clara's in Detroit, or Michael and Edward's sleep, now we'll pause for 2 real U.S. stories. These are people over 70 who transformed their lives by improving the signs we've covered, from balance to eating. In the U.S., where every region has its own tale, they prove 70 isn't a limit, but a chance to restart. Let's explore these 2 inspiring journeys. They could be you in the future. First story, Miss Helen in Miami, Florida. Regaining balance through yoga. Helen, 71, lives in Miami, a sunny city with long beaches and an active lifestyle. But a few years ago, Helen wasn't who you see today. After retiring as a secretary, she started feeling unsteady, walking around Coconut Grove. Once, she nearly fell stepping off a curb, terrifying her. I thought I was done, Helen recalls. She was like Patricia in Mobile from the first sign. Losing balance seemed inevitable at 70. But a friend invited her to a free yoga class in a nearby park. At first Helen doubted, I'm too old for this, but she gave it a shot. Helen started with standing on one leg, holding just 3 seconds before wobbling. She persisted, practicing daily with a coach and YouTube videos, technology we mentioned earlier. After weeks, she hit 10 seconds, then 20. I felt young again, she laughs. Yoga didn't just restore Helen's balance, it strengthened her legs, linking to Daniel's walking speed in Boston. Now, at 71, Helen walks South Beach without a cane, confidently stepping over small waves. She even joined a community yoga group, connecting with new friends, another sign we'll cover later. From fearing falls, Helen turned balance into strength, proving you can change even starting late. Second story, Mr. William in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Rebuilding grip strength. William, 77, lives in Minneapolis, a cold city with beautiful lakes and long winters. A former construction engineer, William once prided himself on strong hands, but after retiring, he couldn't open kitchen jars anymore. I had to ask my grandson for help. It was embarrassing, he says. William was like Leonard and Raleigh, from the second sign, weakening hands he thought unavoidable. But one day, a doctor suggested physical therapy after a telemedicine checkup, a tool from the technology section. William decided to act to reclaim his independence. He started simple, squeezing a rubber ball 10 times per hand, 3 times daily, like we suggested. At first his hands shook holding the ball, but he didn't quit. William also used the MyFitnessPal app to track progress, logging grip strength weekly. After 2 months, he opened jam jars easily, carrying grocery bags without aid. I feel like me again, he says. Grip strength didn't just make William independent. It boosted overall muscle, aiding balance and walking like Ellen and Daniel. In Minneapolis, where winter keeps people indoors, William trained at home, using YouTube for more hand exercises. From losing confidence, he proved strength can return with persistence. What do these stories show? In the U.S., from sunny Miami to frigid Midwest Minneapolis, people over 70 are reshaping their fates with small actions. Helen didn't let fall fears define her. She used yoga to reclaim balance, thriving at 71. William refused weak hands. He trained to stay independent at 77. They didn't need miracles, just will and available tools. From free parks to phone apps, signs like balance and grip aren't fixed. They can improve, as we've seen before. Think of Margaret in Seattle, using Fitbit to walk steadily, or Ruth in Santa Fe, eating healthy daily. Helen and William are the same, living proof that 70 is a new start if you act. In Miami, Helen tapped outdoor culture for yoga. In Minneapolis, William beat harsh winters with indoor drills. Wherever you are, big city or small town, you can do it too. Technology, community, and resolve help them, and they can help you. So what do you take from Helen and William? They're not unlike you. They just started. If Helen can stand on one leg at 71, if William can open jars at 77, you can improve balance, grip, or any sign we've covered. Try something small today. Stand on one leg 5 seconds, squeeze a ball 10 times, and see what happens. Before the next sign, comment which story inspired you. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. We'll continue with the 6th sign, handling stress, right after this. Are you ready? If you just heard Helen's inspiring story in Miami, and William's in Minneapolis, or Ruth and Clara's eating habits, now we'll move to a less obvious but powerful factor, handling stress. In the U.S., where life after 70 can be full of challenges, from health to finances, how you face stress doesn't just affect your mood, it decides how long you'll live. This isn't about weakness or strength, it's how you manage to stay healthier. Let's explore this through stories, science, and how to improve it today. Let's meet 2 men from different U.S. cities. Thomas, 76, lives in San Diego, California, a coastal city with warm sun and a laid-back vibe. Thomas was a salesman, and though retired, he still faces worries, medical bills, home repairs, or family news. But Thomas has his way. When stressed, he breathes deeply, walks along La Jolla Beach, and chats with friends at a local cafe. He stays calm, focuses on what he can control, and rarely lets worry linger. Now head to Cleveland, Ohio, where Richard, also 76, lives differently. Richard was a factory manager, and post-retirement, he's often anxious, from dwindling savings to his own health. When stressed, he sits still, overthinks, and snaps at others. Richard thinks it's normal, but his stress handling is quietly shortening his life. So why does handling stress matter? Scientists at UCLA have proven chronic stress in people over 70 doesn't just hit mentally, it weakens the body. When you manage it well like Thomas, you cut heart disease risk, keep your mind sharp, and live longer. But prolonged stress, like Richard's, raises cortisol, a hormone causing chronic inflammation tied to nearly every aging disease, Alzheimer's to stroke. A study from the American Journal of Psychology shows people over 70 who handle stress poorly face a 35% higher risk of early death than those who stay calm. For Thomas in San Diego, calmness is a natural remedy, but for Richard in Cleveland, anxiety is a silent foe. In the U.S., stress is a big issue for older adults. Per the American Psychological Association (APA), over 40% of those over 65 report high stress, from finances, like Richard's savings worries, to health or loneliness. Picture Thomas in San Diego, sipping coffee and joking with friends after a beach walk, while Richard in Cleveland huddles in a chair, muttering about unpaid bills. The difference isn't just emotion, it's biology. When Richard lets stress drag on, his body produces inflammation, weakening his heart and disrupting sleep, like Edward in Memphis. Thomas, though, cuts inflammation through relaxation, keeping muscles strong like James and memory good, like Michael. The U.S. environment greatly shapes this sign. In San Diego, California, with pleasant weather and a culture encouraging outdoor time, Thomas easily unwinds. He walks the beach, meditates 10 minutes each morning, and joins a local retiree group, all calming him. But in Cleveland, Ohio, an industrial city with harsh winters and a tense pace, Richard struggles to escape worry. Negative TV news and few relaxing spaces keep stress bottled up. This doesn't mean Richard can't change. He just needs the right tools to beat his surroundings. Let's dig into the science a bit. 2022 study from the New England Journal of Medicine shows chronic stress in those over 70 raises heart disease risk by 50% and cognitive decline by 30%, impacting balance and walking like Ellen and Daniel. When Thomas breathes deeply, his body lowers cortisol, steadying blood pressure and mood. But for Richard, constant worry spikes inflammation, leaving him tired, sleeping poorly, and eating less, tying to Clara's sign. Stress isn't just a feeling, it's a biological response you can control. The good news, you can improve stress handling, whether in San Diego or Cleveland. No complex skills needed, just small daily shifts. Try this test. Last week, when stressed, did you stay calm or over-worry? If you're like Richard, it's a sign to act. Thomas in San Diego wasn't naturally calm. He learned to master it. You can too, with simple steps. First, try deep breathing. Inhale 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, exhale 4 seconds. Repeat 5 times when stressed. Second, take a short 10-minute walk, like Thomas on the beach, to release endorphins, the happiness hormone. Third, if you want more, try meditation or mindfulness. Just sit still, focus on breathing, 5 minutes daily. In the US, technology helps too. Apps like Calm or Headspace, from Part 6, offer free guided sessions. Finally, talk to someone, friends, family, or a community group, to lighten your mental load. Thomas does this daily, and it's transformed his life. Imagine Richard in Cleveland trying deep breathing when worried about money. After weeks he sleeps better, snaps less, and feels lighter. That's the power of handling stress. It's not just mental, it's a healthier body. For Thomas in San Diego, it's a habit. At 76, he's still cheerful and active. Whether on the coast or in an industrial zone, you can start today. So how's your stress handling? Think of your last stressful moment. Did you stay calm, or let it sweep you away? If you hold worry too long, don't ignore it. Like Ruth in Santa Fe keeping nutrition or Thomas in San Diego keeping calm, this is a sign you can improve to live longer. It's not just mental, it's how you shield your health from within. We've reached the final sign, the 7th, in our journey exploring longevity past 70. If you just heard how Thomas in San Diego and Richard in Cleveland handle stress, or Helen and William's stories, now we'll wrap up with a powerful factor: social relationships. In the U.S., where community and connection can shape life, your relationships, after 70, don't just bring joy, they're a key to living long and healthy. This isn't about being extroverted or introverted, it's how you maintain bonds to nourish body and soul. Let's dive in through stories, science, and how to improve it today. Let's meet 2 women from different U.S. regions. Alice, 78, lives in Asheville, North Carolina, a mountain town famous for art and a friendly community. Alice loves life. She stays in touch with friends by phone, joins a weekly book club, and regularly dines with family. Each day she laughs, shares stories, and feels part of the world. Now head to Fargo, North Dakota, where Dorothy, also 78, lives a lonelier life. Dorothy was a nurse, but after retiring and losing her husband, she drifted from friends. She rarely calls, avoids gatherings, and spends most days alone in her small home, overlooking snowy fields. Dorothy thinks it's natural with age, but her isolation is quietly affecting her lifespan. So why do social relationships matter? Scientists at Yale University have proven that people over 70 with strong connections, through friends, family, or community, often live longer and healthier than the lonely. A study from the American Medical Journal shows isolation raises heart disease risk by 50%, depression by 30%, and even speeds cognitive decline, linking to sleep and stress we've discussed. For Alice in Asheville, every chat is medicine for spirit and body. But for Dorothy in Fargo, loneliness is a silent enemy, cutting her years short. In the U.S., loneliness is a serious issue for older adults. Per AARP, over a third of those over 65 report feeling isolated, directly impacting health. Picture Alice in Asheville, laughing loud in her book club, discussing a favorite novel, while Dorothy in Fargo sits alone, watching TV with no one to talk to. The difference isn't just emotion, it's biology. When Alice connects, her brain releases oxytocin and dopamine, hormones that cut stress like Thomas and boost happiness. Dorothy, lacking connection, raises cortisol, leaving her tired, eating poorly, like Clara, and sleeping badly, like Edward. Social relationships aren't just joy, they're health. The U.S. environment heavily shapes this sign. In Asheville, North Carolina, where art and community thrive, Alice easily finds friends through local events, from art fairs to reading groups. She uses Facebook to stay in touch with old pals and meets grandkids at downtown cafes. But in Fargo, North Dakota, a small, cold, sparse city, Dorothy faces bigger challenges. Long winters keep her indoors, and personal loss makes her shy to reconnect. This doesn't mean Dorothy can't change. She just needs to step out of her comfort zone to rediscover community. Let's dig into the science a bit. A 2021 study from the American Journal of Public Health shows people over 70, with at least 3 close relationships, cut stroke risk by 40% and memory decline by 25% compared to the lonely. When Alice talks, her brain stays active, cutting inflammation, linked to Richard's stress, and keeping her heart strong. But for Dorothy, isolation boosts inflammation, raising illness risk, and sapping her drive to move, affecting balance and walking like Ellen and Daniel. Social connection isn't just a feeling, it's a natural remedy for your body. The good news? You can boost social relationships, whether in Asheville or Fargo. No crowd needed, just a few meaningful ties. Try this test last week. Who did you talk deeply with? And for how long? If less than once or you feel lonely, it's a sign to act. Alice in Asheville didn't naturally have lots of friends. She built them over time. You can too, with simple steps. First, call an old friend. Just 5 minutes to catch up, like Alice does weekly. Second, join a small group, a book club, free library class or religious group, to meet new people. In the U.S., community centers like YMCA or public libraries are everywhere. Third, if you want more, use technology from Part 6, Facebook, Zoom or WhatsApp, to connect with distant family. What Alice uses to chat with grandkids. Finally, set a small goal. Meet someone once a week, coffee, a walk or just talking. These steps don't just cut loneliness, they boost overall health. Imagine Dorothy, in Fargo, calling an old nursing friend. After weeks, she joins a local knitting group at the library, laughing and feeling lighter. That's the power of social relationships. It's not just friends, it's rebuilding life. For Alice in Asheville, it's a habit. At 78, she's still radiant and healthy, whether in an artsy town or icy plains. You can start today. So how are your social relationships? Think of last week. Did you connect or isolate? If you feel distant, don't ignore it. Like Thomas in San Diego, keeping calm, or Alice in Asheville, keeping ties. This is a sign you can improve to live longer. It's not just chatting, it's how you keep your heart and soul strong. Before the next section, comment, am I well connected? If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. The next part, Real Stories Part 2, will bring more inspiration. Are you ready? Story 3, Mr. David in Austin, Texas, boosting walking speed. Thanks to a local park, David, 73, lives in Austin, Texas, vibrant city of music, food and lush parks, like Zilker Park. But a few years ago, David wasn't the active person you see today. After retiring from his accounting job, he noticed he walked slower, often stopping while crossing streets, and felt tired, like George in Lubbock, from the third sign. Once, he nearly didn't cross an intersection before the light turned red, worrying him. I didn't want to become a burden, David says. Then a neighbor invited him to walk at a nearby park, and he decided to try. David started with 10 minutes daily around Zilker Park, stepping slowly but steadily. He used a Fitbit, technology, from Part 6, to track speed, and after a few weeks, he upped it to 20 minutes, then 30. I felt my legs get stronger, he recalls. Shoe walking didn't just improve speed, it helped him sleep better, like Michael, and cut stress, like Thomas. Now at 73, David strides quickly through the park, joins a local walking group, and even tries light jogging. From sluggishness, he's regained vitality, proving walking speed can change with persistence, even in hot Texas. Story 4, Miss Evelyn in Chicago, Illinois. Overcoming loneliness with new friends. Evelyn, 79, lives in Chicago, the windy city of skyscrapers and freezing winters. After her husband passed 5 years ago, Evelyn fell into loneliness. She rarely went out, seldom talked to anyone, and felt lost, like Dorothy in Fargo from The Seventh Sign. I thought life was just me alone, she recalls. But one day her daughter suggested joining a singing group at a nearby community center. Evelyn hesitated. I'm not a good singer. But she went, carrying a bit of hope. At first Evelyn just listened, but then she started singing along. She befriended a few members, and they invited her for coffee after sessions. Evelyn used Zoom, technology from Part 6, to chat with the group when Chicago winters kept her indoors. After months, she laughed more, slept better, and felt purpose, linking to Michael's sleep and Thomas's stress. Now at 79, Evelyn doesn't just sing, she hosts small meetups, connecting with new friends and family. From loneliness, she's found joy, proving social relationships can transform life, even in a big city. What do these stories show? In the U.S., from warm southern Austin to frigid northern Chicago, people over 70 are taking charge of their health with small steps. David refused slow walking. He used a park and technology to speed up, thriving at 73. Evelyn didn't let loneliness define her. She found friends through community, shining at 79. They didn't need miracles, just action, like Helen regaining balance, or William boosting grip from Part 9. These signs aren't fixed, they can improve if you start. Think of Daniel in Boston, keeping a fast pace, or Alice in Asheville, staying connected. David and Evelyn are the same proof that 70 is a chance to rebuild. In Austin, David tapped outdoor culture to walk. In Chicago, Evelyn beat winter with a singing group and Zoom. Wherever you are, bustling city or quiet region, you can do it too. Parks, community centers, and technology help them, and they're ready for you. So what do you learn from David and Evelyn? They're not unlike you, they just acted. If David can walk fast at 73, if Evelyn can connect at 79, you can improve speed, connection, or any sign we've covered. Try something small today. Walk 5 minutes, call someone, and see what happens. Welcome to the recap of our journey. If you just heard David in Austin speeding up his walk, and Evelyn in Chicago overcoming loneliness, or the signs from Margaret to Alice, now's the time to look back. We've explored 7 signs predicting longevity, past 70, from balance to social relationships. In the U.S., where everyone has a chance to change, these signs aren't just warnings, they're a map to live longer and healthier. Let's review and ask, where am I? Sign 1, ability to stand on one leg. Ellen in Boulder stands steady. Patricia in Mobile wobbles. How long can you hold? 10 seconds, or just 3. Sign 2, grip strength. James in Boise opens jars easily. Leonard in Raleigh can't. Is your hand strong or weak when you squeeze? Sign 3, walking speed. Daniel in Boston steps fast. George in Lubbock lags. Can you cross before the light turns? Sign 4, sleep quality. Michael in Portland sleeps well. Edward in Memphis tosses. Do you wake refreshed or tired? Sign 5, eating habits. Ruth in Santa Fe eats balanced. Clara in Detroit skips. Do you nourish your body or just fill your stomach? Sign 6, stress handling. Thomas in San Diego stays calm. Richard in Cleveland frets. Do you relax or let stress linger? Sign 7, social relationships. Alice in Asheville connects well. Dorothy in Fargo's alone. Do you have friends to chat with or stay solo? Stories from Helen, William, David and Evelyn show every sign can improve. From yoga in Miami to singing in Chicago. In the U.S., with tech like Fitbit and communities like parks, you have every tool to start. So where are you? Check yourself now. Stand on one leg. Are you steady? Squeeze your hand. Are you strong? Walk a few steps. Are you fast? Think of sleep, meals, stress, and friends. Are you healthy or need change? This isn't to judge, it's to act. Like Margaret in Seattle staying vibrant at 73, or Evelyn in Chicago finding joy at 79. You're not stuck where you are. Each sign's an opportunity, and you can improve today. Big city or small town. Start small. Stand on one leg 5 seconds. Squeeze 10 times. Walk 5 minutes. Sleep earlier. Eat a full meal. Breathe deeply. Or call an old friend. These steps changed Helen, David, and others. They'll change you. Before the 30-day plan, comment which sign do I need to improve most. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. We'll wrap up by turning signs into specific actions. Are you ready? Now step into the action part of our journey. I just recapped the 7 signs with Alice, David, and everyone we've met, from Margaret in Seattle to Evelyn in Chicago. And now it's time to turn them into action. In the U.S., where you have parks, technology, and communities ready, this 30-day plan will help you improve each sign to live longer, healthier. This isn't a harsh regimen. It's small, practical steps anyone can do. Let's start with this simple schedule. You'll feel different in just 1 month. Week 1. Balance and grip days 1-7. Focus on signs 1 and 2. Standing on one leg and grip strength, like Ellen in Boulder and James in Boise. Each day stand on one leg 10 seconds. Hold a chair if needed, like Helen in Miami did with yoga. Build to 15 seconds by week's end. At the same time, squeeze a tennis ball 10 times per hand, 3 times daily, like William in Minneapolis. In the U.S., grab a cheap ball at Walmart, or use a small water bottle instead. Goal: steadier and stronger hands in 7 days. Use a Fitbit or watch to time it. Tech from part 6 keeps you on track. Week 2. Walking speed days 8-14. Boost sign 3, walking speed. Like Daniel in Boston and David in Austin. Start with 10 minutes walking daily, indoors or at a nearby park, like David Zilker Park. Gradually speed up, slow on day 1, 5 seconds faster by the end. If you're in a city like Chicago or a rural spot like Lubbock, a sidewalk or hallway works. Add knee lifts 10 times per leg for strength, as noted in part 5. Goal: faster walking, steadier breathing. Use free Google Fit to count steps. Simple and effective. Week 3. Sleep and eating days 15-21. Target signs 4 and 5. Sleep quality and eating habits, like Michael in Portland and Ruth in Santa Fe. Go to bed at 10 p.m. Skip screens an hour before, like Michael. Try a light 10-minute evening walk to unwind. Also, add protein to each meal. Eggs for breakfast, chicken for lunch, fish for dinner, like Ruth. If you're in Detroit like Clara, frozen veggies from the store are a quick fix. Goal: better sleep, fuller nutrition. Use an Apple Watch or notebook to log sleep and meals. You'll see clear progress. Week 4. Stress and connection days 22-30. Improve signs 6 and 7. Stress handling and social relationships, like Thomas in San Diego and Alice in Asheville. When stressed, breathe deeply, 5 times. Inhale 4 seconds. Hold 4. Exhale 4, like Thomas did. Try 5-minute daily meditation with the Calm app from part 6. Also, call an old friend once weekly and join a group, like Evelyn in Chicago with her singing. In the U.S., libraries or community centers like YMCA offer free activities. Goal: calmer, more connected. Use Zoom to chat if you're far, like Dorothy in Fargo. American-style tips for success. Living in the U.S. gives you an edge. Parks like Boston Common or Zilker Park are perfect for walking and relaxing. Stores like Kroger have affordable fresh food for Ruth's meals. Tech like Fitbit, YouTube, or Zoom, from part 6, makes tracking and connecting easy. If you're rural like Tulsa or Fargo, use your hallway or online groups just as well. Start small, stay consistent, and use what's around, like David and Evelyn did. After 30 days, you'll stand firmer, walk faster, sleep better, and feel more loved. Think of everyone we've met. Helen regaining balance at 71. William gripping strong at 77. Stepping quick at 73. Evelyn connecting at 79. They're not unlike you. They just started. You don't need to do it all at once. 1 step a week is enough. After 30 days, you'll be closer to Margaret in Seattle. thriving at 73, or Alice in Asheville, radiant at 78. This is a plan to not just live long, but live well. Act today. Pick one sign from the 30-day plan. Stand on one leg. Squeeze your hand. Walk. Sleep early. Eat well. Breathe or call a friend. And start. Share your story with us. You'll inspire others, like Helen and David did. In the U.S., 70 isn't a dead end. It's a new road if you step up. As Sanjay Gupta says, you don't get old, you grow. If you take care of yourself, it's time to grow. Not just live long, but live well. The story of the 7 longevity signs past 70 reflects life in the U.S. in 2025, a diverse tech-forward society, yet full of challenges for older adults. From Margaret in Seattle, using Fitbit to walk around Green Lake, to Evelyn in Chicago, beating loneliness with a Zoom singing group. These characters show Americans today can tap resources around them to live healthier. In reality, per the CDC, life expectancy is around 78, 80, but quality of life, past 70, hinges on personal action. Helen in Miami regained balance with free park yoga, while David in Austin boosted walking speed at Zilker Park, reminding us free public spaces, from parks to libraries, are precious assets Americans should use. Conversely, Dorothy in Fargo and Clara in Detroit highlight isolation and poor eating, common in rural areas or food deserts, as hurdles to overcome. The practical lesson is, start small and use what's available. You don't need an expensive gym like Ellen. Just stand on one leg 10 seconds in your kitchen. You don't need superfoods. Frozen veggies from Walmart, like Roos, are enough. Tech like Fitbit or YouTube, widespread in the U.S., helps track progress, as James and Thomas did. More crucially, social connection, via Zoom or coffee with friends like Alice, is a free remedy. In the U.S., today, with Medicare, parks, and community, you have every tool to thrive past 70. Just act, like David and Evelyn, instead of waiting. Before we end, comment, what did you learn from this journey? If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share with loved ones. They deserve to live long and well too. Thanks for joining us from Margaret to Evelyn. Start today, and we hope to see you in future videos. Are you ready to live better? See you next time.